Good night, everybody. So that was something. Fetterman and Oz. No sane person would have approved of that. No insane person would have either. Even Gary Busey would have said, this feels a little off. Just goes to show you that for the Dems, it's only about filling a seat, not doing the job. If they thought a stale muffin could win, they'd run it. And after watching Fetterman last night, maybe they should have. At least a stale muffin wouldn't crumble that much in front of the cameras. But they're so power mad, they let a clearly unwell man fall apart on live TV, which is really the job of Joe Biden's staff. Stay in your lane, Fetterman. It was so painful to watch. The host should have been given a safe word. But Fetterman's desperation was nowhere near the desperation of the media, who, before the debate, made excuses for the poor guy. They circled the wagons even when there was nothing to circle around. They primed the press with prepare for awkward pauses and some verbal flubs, which sounds like a great slogan for Kamala Harris 2024. But I guess watching Biden for the past 2 years, that wasn't even preparation enough for this. But the rationale from the media was pre-chewed and spoon-fed to them, as if they're the ones who had a stroke. And then afterwards, the excuses flowed like Snapple through Joe Biden's pants.
John Fetterman clearly has some speech struggles because of his stroke, but his authenticity was there.
I think under the circumstances, John Fetterman, having had a stroke, actually did very well.
The Republican Party's running a bunch of ads about showing Fetterman stumbling on things because of the stroke. What kind of a doctor is behind that? Aren't you supposed to do no harm?
He had some really, really strong comebacks.
Fetterman lost the battle last night, but may have won the war.
Wait a second. Who actually had the stroke here? I think it's contagious. Then there's the debate for the New York governor between Republican challenger Lee Zeldin and Democrat Kathy Hochul. If only her approval were as high as her eyebrows. This is a woman, by the way, who was never voted in by the people of New York. She just happened to be in the right place at the right time, like when Steve Ducey's limo once hit a young homeless man named Brian Kilmeade. Zeldin talked about what was on voters' minds, which is not being murdered. Or at least let's get murdered by new criminals, you know, just to keep things fresh. And this is how Nancy Pelosi's face tester replied.
There is a crime emergency. This governor, who still, to this moment, we're halfway through the debate, she still hasn't talked about locking up anyone committing any crimes.
Okay.
Anyone who commits a crime under our laws, especially with the change they made to bail, has consequences. I don't know why that's so important to you.
She doesn't know why. She acts like Zeldin had just made a disparaging remark about the color of her shoes or why she likes orange juice with pulp, which is disgusting. Sorry. But it says it all about the modern Democrat. They prefer fake victims over real ones. Remember, as crime raged across her state, she made it a law to refer to people in real estate with gender-neutral pronouns, such as real estate salespeople or salespersons. I could see the criminal on the stand during his trial. You know, then I stabbed her 22 times before throwing her off a bridge. You know, and the judge goes, sir, I'm not going to tell you again. You must respectfully refer to the person you butchered as they, or I'll insist on bail in your case. I'm sure the realtors will be pleased when New Yorkers use the right pronoun as they scream, for the love of God, sell our home so we can move to Florida. And months before that, she announces that all SUNY college campuses would enforce chosen names and pronouns to ensure that transgender, non-binary, and non-conforming identities experience a diverse, inclusive environment for the LGBTQIA, LMNOP, QRST. Sorry, I'm getting tired of a community that demands more letters than an episode of Sesame Street. You know what? Why not just pass a law saying all heterosexuals must transition by 2025? I feel like we're almost there. I mean, have you seen Harry Styles? But I understand the governor's concerns. Imagine the horror of getting misgendered on the coroner's report after you've been murdered. And so she asks her challenger, I don't see why putting criminals behind bars is so important to you. Well, because, Kathy, it's not important to you. That's the problem. The governor abandoned citizens' concerns for the attention-seeking woke garbage that her staff handpicks off Twitter. And while it makes you feel like a good person inside, it makes you look like a good person on social media, you're just a vapid, virtue-signaling vomit bag. And now she can't offer real help, just fake help. Otherwise, she'd make crime fighting number one and save the questions about IDs for people who are trying to vote. And now they claim any attempt at law and order is systemic racism, answering only to activists instead of crime-ravaged citizens. They pat themselves on their spineless backs over pronouns. Nice work, Z. Why, thank you, they. I'm sorry, you dumb hack. You just gotta go. People are getting killed on subways, they're raped on our streets, and you say, why is that so important to you? I think we found your new pronouns. It's dumb and ass. Let's welcome tonight's guest. He's devoured more rolls than a fat kid at Thanksgiving dinner. Actor and comedian Rob Schneider. He knows more about Clinton dirt than anyone who isn't buried in it. President of the Government Accountability Institute, Peter Schweitzer. For Halloween, she's going as my arch nemesis, a theme park measuring stick. Fox News contributor, Kat Tim. And when he needs his shoes shined, he goes to the car wash. My massive sidekick is the NWA's World Television Champion, Tyrus. Rob, it was an embarrassment of embarrassments.
Yeah, but you know what, though? If you're Fetterman, you just got to shake it off, go home tonight, kiss the kids good morning, and just get right back at it yesterday. You know what I'm saying?
The thing is, I mean, people are going to go, oh, that's unfair because you're making fun of a person who is, that's ableist. No, if you're forcing that guy out there, you are forcing that. You're the cruel person.
Yeah, it is. And apologizing for him is, for Fetterman's performance and where he's at. It's like apologizing for a drunk driver. Mm-hmm. Yes, okay, yes, he was inebriated, but no one's giving credit for how well he drove before he killed your whole family.
Yeah. It's true. He could have started off with a joke. Maybe the good night thing was supposed to be a joke. And we just didn't, maybe it got screwed up.
He should have followed it with fire bad.
By the way, that joke would have worked before the stroke. That's a family tree. I mean, it literally is a tree. Peter, okay. There were two debates. Pick one. What struck you about them? I mean, you got a political mind. What did you see? What alarmed you? What surprised you?
I think the Fetterman one was shocking in a lot of ways. I mean, look, I kind of get the naked ambition of a guy like Fetterman and his wife. He wants to be in the Senate. That kind of makes sense. To me, it's the reporters. Mm-hmm. It's the how the media is trying to cover for this. It reminds me of the old, parable you remember of the emperor with no clothes. Mm-hmm. The fool is the emperor, but the real fool are the people who are applauding at the wonderful outfit that he's supposedly wearing when he's actually stark naked. So I really think the media is the problem here. And they've made a choice, Greg. They are choosing to basically applaud for the emperor that has no clothes, even though it's destroying their credibility because they are so committed to their cause.
Now you have me thinking of Fetterman naked. What's weird is that's the second time today. What's amazing, they already cast 1 million votes before this debate.
Yeah.
That's insane.
It's remarkable.
His team released a statement saying that he did remarkably well and that they were thrilled. And everyone is focusing on, that's gaslighting. How can they gaslight everyone like that? And I'm just thinking, what if they're not?
Yeah.
What if they are thrilled because they're used to seeing it be much worse?
Well,
that's all that could possibly mean. Maybe they're telling the truth and they're like, phew, that could have gone terribly.
You're right. And you're right. And get this, talk about dishonest. He had the stroke before the primary, with Connor Lamb. And did they keep that hidden? It was like there's so much weird stuff going on.
It is relevant to the job because in this country, one of the most important powers we have as citizens is to be able to criticize and question the people in power over us. If you can't answer those questions or any questions, then you being in power takes power away that is owed to us as citizens.
That is a very good point.
Yeah.
I think, Kyrus, one theory is that they just want to get him in so then the governor can just appoint somebody to replace him. So they get the seat, and then they just put somebody who isn't a stroke victim, which in Democrat world, it's going to be hard.
Why would you replace him? Why? You just change the vote buttons to pretty colors and tell them, press the M&M one.
Yeah.
You know, I get it. It was much for me like watching a fighter that you respect, right? And he goes out to fight and he gets old that night and he looks horrible. But for some reason, he just won't go down.
Right.
And Doc Oz, to his credit, never threw a knockout blow.
Yeah.
He's lucky he wasn't up there against somebody else whose name starts with Trump.
Yeah.
Because he would have crucified him. But he didn't do it. Thinking, but here's the thing, the real, I question is, if that was my family member, and you and I, we talked about it. I said, if it was a boxing match, I would have thrown in the towel. If I was his manager, I would have got fired. I would have walked out there and I would have stopped it. You know, because they're not, if you're not concerned with his performance because you're just going to vote the tent. Because they'll tell him how to vote, so it doesn't matter. Where was his wife when the primary happened? She could have stepped up and said, I'll run for my husband. Anyone could have said anything. But it doesn't matter, and no one's going to stop him.
Yeah.
He went up there, and they actually said he did a good job, considering he had a stroke. Wow. It's like, yeah, the athlete did a good job, considering he had a heart attack and passed out on the. He didn't finish the race, but considering a heart attack, he did pretty damn good.
And by the way, the one thing they're not talking about, he's at risk for another stroke.
Right.
Yeah.
You know. But no, I was watching Oz, and I thought Oz had took his foot off the brake, right? And it was, but it was still like watching Leah Thomas swim.
I think, Doctor,
I think she's a dude as a woman swimming against girls.
Yeah.
I had to explain that joke on the 5-2.
I don't know what the hell's wrong with orange juice and pulp. It's the healthiest version of it. But
No. That is so disgusting.
I like pulp in my
everyone likes
juice.
pulp, Gutfeld.
It adds a little something extra.
Vitamin
Oh, my God.
C.
You guys probably drank Five Alive when you were kids, huh?
No, we just drink orange juice and don't use orange juice to color our vodka.
Nope. By the way,
That's true.
nobody here.
True.
I mean, he's not lying. But what about nobody cares about Kathy Hochul? Who won? Who won, Peter?
Zeldin won.
Okay.
Zeldin won. Here's the thing. The problem that the political left has in America today is they want to solve all these problems that are abstract, like climate change. And you can't measure climate change. It's the things that are nearby, like crime, like safe streets, that they don't want to talk about. And I think the American people are fed up with that. And I think you're seeing that, and you're going to see some surprises on Election Day. And I think the governor's race is going to be one of them.
I hope so, because this place is getting unlivable. All right. Up next, LA's got drugs, crime, and foul odors, plus services stolen by freeloaders.
If you'll be in the New York area and would like free tickets to see Gutfeld, go to foxnews.com/Gutfeld and click on the link to join our studio audience.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.